My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Ticket to Paradise. And I really wish I saw this movie in theaters with a date, because then I could go to the usher and be like, I'd like 2 tickets to paradise. Just wanted to make that joke. But this is a movie I was actually really looking forward to just because I miss this kind of movie. I love the simplicity of romantic comedies. As long as they're romantic and as long as they're funny, I love them. Like When Harry Met Sally is one of my favorite movies ever. I love The F Word or What If with Daniel Radcliffe and Zoe Kazan. I love Friends with Benefits with Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis. I love Going the Distance with Justin Long and Drew Barrymore. I love lots of them. It's a great genre. And when I heard they were making one with George Clooney and Julia Roberts, I'm just like, that's awesome because typically movies like this just get dumped on Netflix with zero marketing and are usually terrible. So the fact this movie exists nowadays makes me happy and it's fine. It's not as good as I would have liked it to be. I like the fact that it wears its heart on its sleeves. It's unashamed of how sentimental it is, and I like that. It does have its fair share of sweet and charming moments, and there were a few times in which I genuinely laughed, and the fact this movie ends with bloopers made me happy. Like, I miss bloopers. They're such an underappreciated gem of past movies that was nice to see in this one. Some of my favorite bloopers are Rush Hour 2 and Toy Story 2. The fact that they exist for Toy Story 2 still cracks me up. And this movie does manage to be entertaining enough. Like, it's not the deepest character wise, it's not the deepest story. It's exactly what you expect it to be, and it's entertaining at being exactly that. But my biggest issue with this movie is just how over the top the first half is. Like, the first half of this movie just feels like a series of events in which every event is George Clooney and Julia Roberts just going up to each other, being like, "Oh, come on, you're here too? You've got to be kidding me!" And it just happens time and time again. I'm just like, it's too much. You're acting too goofy and over the top. Like, fine, do it once. I'll give you that. But when you keep doing it, it's just, yeah, like the movie begins and they have to sit together at the graduation ceremony and they're like, "What are you doing here?" And then they get on a plane and they have to sit to each other and they're like, "What? What are the odds of this?" And you're just like, okay, this is very contrived. And then they get to the hotel and they're like, "I'd like a room as far away from her as possible." And then they get a room right next to each other. And it's just, okay, come on. This is just silly now. Like, this is just too over the top. So that did take away my enjoyment from some of the movie. I also didn't like the soundtrack choices. They went for what. They went with very safe soundtrack picks and also just old person music that's trying to be hip nowadays that just doesn't work. Like, they're at a party and the song "Everybody Dance Now" pops on and they start going crazy to it, and then the song "Jump" by Criss Cross starts playing, and I'm just like, okay, these are bad choices. Like, you should have done something like "Modern Love" by David Bowie, or um, "I'm Still Standing" by Elton John. Just nice older songs that have a bit more fun to them, I found. Whenever there is green screen in this movie, it looks atrocious. You can just tell it's green screen from a mile away. It's probably reshoots at that point, I guess. But for the most part, it is shot on location, and the location does look very nice. It makes you want to travel to Bali, even though it's actually shot in Australia. There's a character that Julia Roberts is seeing named Paul, and I just don't think he should have been included. He feels like an afterthought and has no real effect on the plot. And I also didn't really buy either main romance all too much. Like, George Clooney and Julia Roberts do have sweet moments, but like I said, it's a bit too over the top at the start, and then when they're seaweed farming together and they're fooling around, and I don't know how much of that I actually bought into. And then the relationship with Caitlin Dever and her fiance, I didn't buy for a second. The guy was just remarkably dull, and yeah, I don't quite buy it. The cast, for the most part, does a fine job. George Clooney and Julia Roberts are better in the second half of this movie than they are at the start, but they do got screen presence, and it's nice to see them on screen again. Ocean's 11 is one of my favorite movies ever, so I enjoyed this. You've also got Caitlin Dever, who is one of the best young actresses working nowadays. I didn't watch that Rosaline movie, but I almost did just because she's in it. She's great in everything she's in, and I don't think she's great here. She doesn't have a lot to do, but she's still very good. And she's reunited with her Booksmart co-star, Billie Lourd, who I didn't know was in this movie, but I actually think she's the best actress here. Like, she is so entertaining and so funny whenever she's on screen. I wanted more of her. And Maxime Bouteau, just like I said, very bland. So the movie's what you expect it to be. It's got enough entertainment value to it. It's got enough laughs, enough charm to it to make it worth your time overall, but it's not the next great rom-com. I'm happy this movie exists. I just wish it was a bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and give Ticket to Paradise a 5.5 out of 10. Okay, did you get a Ticket to Paradise? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for some more videos soon. And Gavin